Lolly Boogie is the thing I crave. 'Cause my good old Lolly Boogie will carry me to my grave.
Cairo is my baby's home. Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Cairo, babe. Cairo, babe. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Hello and welcome to another yet one Blue Monday with Homesick Mac here on YouTube live stream that will try to help you cope with challenges of slide guitar playing, overall guitar playing, and this is all set on the beginner to intermediate levels. So if you're a pro, just go. No, just kidding. There's always something for everybody, and I hope you guys like it. This is the 24th live stream, if I remember well. Hell yeah, Power Jimmy, hello. Let's just place you guys in the middle because I've been in another stream where we had some different setup. Nice to see you, Jimmy. Norwegian attack as usual. Hello, Gabe. And of course, Patrick. Great to see you here again. Guys, it's so hot. I hope you're having a great time and nice weather where you are. Up here in Sweden, in southern part of Sweden, it's kind of Scandinavian Mediterranean, and it's quite hot. Today it was like 30 degrees Celsius. It was crazy. So I took my first beer out at the restaurant. This great Hogarden brand that we love so much here. And now it's raining, so the weather is shifting, and it's very, very hot inside here. I cannot have any of these fans going because it's just leaking right into the microphone. So you'll have to cope with me kind of sweating inside of here. But this is also going to be one of the things I can give you some tips about when it comes to playing clubs, private parties, performing anywhere, with when the conditions are not really perfect as we have it at home. It's just like when you're sitting at home and usually playing in your sofa, leaned back, and you play like that. Then all of a sudden, on a gig, you need to stand up, and your body is not used to that. The fingers just won't listen. They won't obey. Where am I? What am I doing? So, which means practice the way you're going to be performing. And sometimes, well, you can fake the sunshine outside and really, really warm weather. And it's like this here inside with me. So what do you do when you get sweaty? And actually, I get sweaty in my head, but my fingers are dry. So what do? Moisture it like this. And then it's just going nicely and gliding on the fretboard. So it's a tip. Take some of that sweat pouring everywhere and just put it on your fingers. Right. All right, this is cool. Polish name, saying hi in Serbian. Pozdrav tebi means greetings to you as well. Nice to hear. Marta, hello. Welcome to this stream. I've been to your stream, your and Joel's stream yesterday. Marta has a live stream about neurodivergent issues, and she's doing lots of stuff on her channel. Just look her up, the Spiral Lab on YouTube. You're gonna have a blast. Very knowledgeable, very deep, and I like it. And we became good friends on the internet. We're in a mutual network called Just Create More, just for an information. All right, so we'll start off as usual. I'm going to be playing a song, a welcome song. It's going to be, I just got that idea. Okay, let's play Sport and Live Blues, the way basically Brownie McGee used to play it. And I need your help, guys. This is the first time I'm using this new hardware, audio mixer, for this live stream. So if you remember how it sounded last week, this is different. It's a different setup, different gear, totally. So let me know if anything's wrong. I don't know. I see here that it's speaking well. All the levels look fine. So just let me know. There we go. Homage to Mr. Brownie McGee. A letter from my home. Most of my friends, they all dead and gone, 'cause this old nightlife, the sporting life, man, it's killing me. My dear old mother, well, she told me, son, you better be careful, sonny. See what you're doing, 'cause this old nightlife, this sporting life is killing you. And I've been lied and cheated too. I spent all my money just boozing you. The sporting life, man, is killing me. From my home, most of my friends, they all dead and gone. Cause this old nightlife and this old sporting life, man, it's killing me. And I say to this old nightlife, the sporting life, it's killing me. All right, Sporting Live Blues. Hello to the latecomers. Well, come on, it's not a latecomer, it's going for an hour. No matter when you come, it's fine. Welcome, Jonas. This is crazy, because when Swedish people come in, I'm kind of, okay, should I say it in Swedish, Jonas, or should I say Jonas? I don't know, how would you guys prefer? But the pronunciation in English, I guess, is Jonas. Jonah. Good stuff, good stuff. So, the backup for today, if you have your guitars ready, let's just take that slow blues in A. I just played you a slow blues in E. And okay, let's just keep the educational part going. For those who are not really into these chord changes that I played here, I actually did the first. This is not a 12-bar blues. It's just going with a main chord first. I got a letter from my home, and then we'll go to E7. Most of my friends. Then we change to chord 4, A. And then we change to either A minor 7. And then I used this little lick. Basically, take the A minor, release the third string, just let it ring open, and you have these 5 strings. Just move it 2 frets up. This sounds great. And then you got E, and then I go to D, C sharp 7 with a big bass here on the 4th fret, and I got F sharp 7, then B, and then E. Turn around. And so on, so on. Good. So let's go to the blues backups. We're starting off with the backup in A. Oh, I really sound like a teacher. And we're starting with a backup in A. No. All right, let's go. what happens when it's warm? The strings lose the tension. So I didn't do anything special here compared to earlier live streams. So you can just go back and see in any of those I have the explanations about all these licks that I've played. Maybe just to explain the most kind of complicated one is this one. That one. So it's first the E chord to the E7, and then I go just so that's the melody. So I end up on A chord, and then I go to. So what I'm doing, I'm going from A chord in this shape with a third on the 5th string, and then I just go from, basically it would be the same if I play G to A, but I'm choosing to play only the basses as a turnaround. And I'm picking the 1st, 3rd, and the 5th string. And so on and so on. Good, so the backup number 2 is going to be, let's see, the ragtimey one with those crazy stops. Oh, Jonas, all the same to me. I think you're referring to the name, right? Good, thank you. If this is about the new audio setup, thank you so much. I'm happy about that. I even added some reverb on the guitar when I play solo, maybe, or maybe when I'm playing the backups or performing a song for you or something. I'm still thinking if that's necessary at all, because there's always this room sound, the room, not real reverb, but it's I can hear it in my earphones, which means a part of that what I'm going to be talking about when it comes to monitoring your own audio when you're playing live. So we'll get to that in the section we're going to be talking about preparations for the gigs when it comes to hardware. Well, we never talked about software. We just spoke about set list last week. How to prepare set list, how to group your songs and all that. So if anybody missed that one, you're more than welcome to go back 1 week. Right, so we're gonna do this backup that's usually played in songs like Piccolo Rag by Blind Boy Fuller. It goes from C, A7, D7, G7, C, C, back to A, D7, G, and then we start at C, then we play C7, and we play F, and we play this dim on the first fret here, and then we go back to C, A7, D7, G7, D, C. Good, let's do it. Okay, compared to the earlier versions of this, it's this last part that I did. I just kind of repeated the last phrase, going from A, C to A, like do 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 do, then again, and again, and then. So it's like a, and then at the same time as I play the G note here on the 3rd fret of 6th string, I play this lick. So and then I release the 1st string and play it open. So the thing with this lick is the syncopation. So you do the. This is how I would, let's say, practice this one. So in this, so there's this. This is kind of a little bit dissonant when you think, okay, this is the note D, and that this one, open 1st string, is E. So they don't really match together. But when you play them in kind of syncopated rhythm, then it's like you're going through that combination of notes, and it just sounds great, like this. You don't even notice it, but it's there and just gives this extra kind of little bit of a spice to the lick. This, I think this, I've heard it for the first time by Big Blue Brucey, and then I remember Doc Watson was playing a lot of the right, these country licks, hillbilly bluegrass stuff, and similar. It's this. Those are great licks, just fantastic stuff. That's great. So, where are we? All right, guys, smash that like button if you please. Good. So now we'll learn this with the C chord and C backup. Oh, that's right. I did some stuff with I just went from one chord to another by playing these bass phrases a little bit differently. So sometimes I'll play. And this dim chord, this diminished, is the same as on the 1st fret. So it's, and it comes again in 4th fret, 4 frets up the neck again, and 4 frets again. It's all the same thing, but it depends when you need it, and especially with this progression, we go from C to the C, the 3rd in the C chord, and then we go to the 4th, and then if I really want to follow this melody, then I would play this. It never ends with different possibilities you can use to play these chord changes, but the whole melody would go like. So the A chord up here instead of here. Then you can also choose to play D7 here. And then the G here. And the C chord here on the 8th fret. Lots of stuff. Good. We gotta move on. So, this is how hot it is inside. And this corresponds to a very warm, sunny day when you're playing on a festival, on a private party. You have to be in the sun maybe, something happened, there's no tent, there is nothing above you, so you need to stay in the sun. always wear a hat or a cap. That's the first one. And then always have something cold to drink. I got a glass of water there, so I'm ready. Back up, back up. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Lots of stuff, but we're going ahead of us. So we're going to do this. Hardware preparation for gigs. How many guitars? If you have only one guitar, congratulations, you just skipped all the wondering like which one should I take with me. But usually people have more than one guitar, and it can be a matter of choice, like, okay, I have to have these 2 or 3 guitars with me, which gives you directly to this, how am I going to bring them with me? How to plan that. But let's just stay with the guitars. What's the choice of the guitars? For me, it starts when I get the booking. And I will take this as a great example of this upcoming blues festival in Sweden that I'm going to be playing on, Almo Blues Festival. It's going to be in July between 7th and 10th. And now it's 27th of June. Basically, when it comes to songs, set lists, planning of what am I going to be doing and all that, I'm already done with that. I know exactly which grooves I want to play, and it's going to be 2 different set lists. One for the street blues, when I'm standing in the middle of the street, and if I remember well, because I've played there many times, and I think I've played 3 or 4 times in the street, I think that at the time that I'm playing between 12 and 2, the audience is on the sunny side, and I am in shadow. Then you maybe would think that I'm going to be playing stay on the sunny side of the street. No, but that's also something I need to think about when people are passing by and they're in the sun all the time. So if they want to stop and listen to me, then I don't know. It's also one thing I need to think about. But let's go back to the guitars. The choice of guitars, it depends on where am I going to play, how many sets I need to play, what kind of environment I'm going to be in. So the first gig on the street is going to be outside, which means I need, I'll have plenty of space around me. I'm the only one performing between 12 and 2. So I feel confident that even if I take 4 guitars with me, it's great. I'm going to have them behind me. That's nice. Second gig is going to be inside in a quite large room, and it's going to be a big stage. Again, only me. So I have all the luxury of being able to bring as many guitars as I want. But the thing about that is sometimes when I have this kind of controlled situation, both on the first and the second gig, I really don't need to think too much about logistics, and so the number of guitars can just correspond to what I need to bring with me for the good performance. And usually I have one guitar tuned in standard tuning, usually this one, the main guitar, and then I have the metal one, which is in open D, sometimes in open G, and then I have a silver tone hollow body guitar, which I will show you in a second, and then I might have one smaller guitar, also made by Michael Sandin. It's got a very peepy, very high-pitched sound because it's tuned higher than the regular guitar, because it's a shorter scale and the shorter guitar, smaller guitar. So let's say those 4 guitars I could think of taking with me. Which ones? The set list decide, of course, and there's also this, why did I write this? Great for starting conversation with people if you have many guitars with you on the stage. This is crazy because I've never brought guitars with me just to brag and to show off like, oh, look, such great instruments I've got. I got money, I'm successful, I can buy all these instruments. And of course, if you're pro and if you're, let's say, invest in your instruments, of course you're going to have many guitars. But when you have just one guitar and play with that guitar, people are kind of less prone to ask you about the instrument. if you have a variety of instruments behind you, then it can be sometimes strategic, and it became strategic for me. Not that I'm aware of that, so maybe I'm kind of using it a little bit, but I like to talk with people about music, about blues, about this old-timey music, and one great way to welcome them into the conversation is to have something to show. And if they hear a variety of sounds, maybe this standard guitar wouldn't be of any interest for them because they've seen it many times. But if they see a metal body guitar, resophonic, played with slide, open tuning, all those sounds are different to them. It's like, wow, okay, let's see what this is. And then in the break, they might just, come forward and ask you. And here's the beginning of the conversation. And this is great for selling workshops, selling your merchandise if you have it, getting gigs, making new friends. That's one of the most beautiful things that happened to me over these 40 years of playing and trying to entertain people. There's so many friendships that I got over the years. It's just amazing. So many people. And what else about this? Basically, that's when it comes to the instruments, which to bring. Now we're coming to the accessories. What's waiting at the venue? If the PA is ready, like let's say in these situations when I'm going to be playing, the first gig is going to be without a sound engineer, which means they're going to just have the PA there and just make everything works. They did their own line check. The microphones are there. It's going to be fine. Maybe one of the technicians would be there just to make sure that I kind of I can manage everything myself. But usually they don't stand there and do anything with my sound, which means I need to be prepared. And I need to be prepared for several things. It's like, okay, what if in the worst scenario, the PA just breaks down, something happens? That's why I always bring an amplifier with me. It's not a big one. I take an acoustic amplifier by Roland AC90, and I'll show you that in a minute when I'll be showing some other stuff here. Let me just put the guitar on the stand, and maybe we can go back here. I'm still with you. Oh, cool. Where are we going? Here's the baby. So guys, this is something that I've been using for many years. Oh, the lights are falling really nicely and showing you these two loudspeakers which are inside of this amp, and on the top it looks like this. And if any of you have ever seen the Roland JC120, the big jazz amplifier from the 70s, well, these controls on this amplifier are actually the same ones that are used on that old amplifier, which had an incredibly clean sound. It was used to play old lap steels. You could play jazz guitars through it, hollow body guitars. You could play keyboard, accordion with a pickup and all that. It was just an amazing amplifier. I even used it as my PA. I sang and I played through it at the same time. I just put it on a table behind me. But why am I sharing this? I'm bringing this amplifier, and I've also got me another amplifier that I could show it to you just because this is something new for me. I've never seen this before. This one. This is a Positive Grid company. Let's see there, right? And it looks like this, quite resemblant of the Roland, but it's Park. The thing with this one is that, look how small this is. and it weighs nothing. You put it in a bag, you can have it on your shoulder and grab it with you. The great thing is, it's got 40 watts of power, which means it's half as strong as the other one, the big one, Roland, which is 90 watts, twice 45 watts per channel. And this is a little beast. It's actually a practicing amplifier, but in the worst scenario, you can just send out the audio through the headphone output, and you can even send that to a PA if you have just those cables needed. Yeah. So this is something that I would maybe take with me on a jam session, or when I maybe just need an amplifier that I can trust and I know how I'm going to be working with it. And the great thing about that is that it's very, very digital. You can use an app on your mobile or on your iPad. Just create your own presets, bring in all kinds of amplifiers with all kinds of effects, overdrives, you name it, they've got it all. You just save that and you have 4 presets that become these physical buttons on the amplifier, and then you have all those other things that you can bring in through the app. So I've seen people use this in very advanced ways, right? But thing is, if the PA is ready, that's nice, but I always bring an amplifier with me, even if I'm going to be taking the train. And that's where we come to the logistics. That's the third section here. After the accessories, we'll talk about that. Then, if PA is yours, which means if they say, you know, in the contract that this scene doesn't have any PA, bring your own, or bring your own stuff. And then it's dependent on, okay, how big is this place? Because the Roland amplifier, the big one, is 90 watts. It's got 2 channels, one dedicated for your singing microphone and the other one dedicated for the guitar. So if your guitar has an active pickup, which means it's already boosted the good signal, and then you just add some more volume on the amplifier, this thing can rock a club. I could just put it on the table somewhere and play it on like 80% of the power. It's gonna be great. One thing you need to be careful about is how much basses you add, because the more basses, then the sound can throttle. It can be a little bit more of this too boomy, because it's not intended to be used at 80 to 100% of the power. It's good to have as a headroom, but yeah. So if the PA is mine and the venue is small, and if I need to move in between, let's say gigs, and there is no other transportation than either my own or that I just need to carry stuff, that will also affect the number of guitars I'm taking with me, of course, and all the accessories, if I'm going to be needing some monitoring. And that's where I solved 2 problems by taking this amplifier with me, the Roland. It's also as a backup if the PA goes, breaks down, and if they don't have monitors. If they placed the loudspeakers too far ahead of me that I just don't hear myself. People think, okay, I can hear myself acoustically, but then the sound is going to be out there. No, there's no way. It's not going to work, because especially in this street where I'm going to be playing, the street is like rectangular. It's like this, right? So I'm standing on one side, then it's like maybe 10, 12 meters, and then the house is on the other side. So the street is maybe between 8 and 10 meters. And then I know the sound from loudspeakers is going to be bouncing off the walls and hitting me back. So I'm going to have the reverbed sound. So what I need is, there are 2 solutions. One is to just bring the loudspeakers back, and I usually have them in the same height or same position as I am, just maybe turned a little bit outside, or one of them can be turned towards me and the other one outside. That's one solution. The other solution is that I use my amplifier as my own monitor. Usually I have great sound in this amplifier, so actually I don't care how they set up their PA. I can just bring my amplifier. I have 2 microphone cables, these XLR cables that come out from that, and I plug those into the mixing console of their PA, put all their controls just straight in the middle, no equalizer, nothing. I do everything on my amplifier. And then I just maybe raise the volume until it's enough. So that's that problem solved. And then we come to this part. If I have my own amp, that's good. But preamp is something that I always take with me as a separate unit. Either the whole pedal board, which I'll also be showing you, but the preamp, I take that with me in case, let's say that the battery dies maybe in my guitar for some reason, I don't know, and then all of a sudden that pickup is not active anymore, it's passive. Then maybe I can just run everything through the preamp and raise the volume on that one and just push it a little bit better that way. Or if I just need to use the preamp, sometimes I even help colleagues who come to jam with me and they maybe don't have their main guitar with them, or if they have the guitar and if they just plug into the PA system, usually those preamps on the PAs are not that high quality, so it's always better if I give them, oh, you can just borrow my preamp here, just use that. And let's say this is one of my oldest accessories. This thing I've used for, I think this is 20 years old now, maybe even more. It's a Sans Amp Acoustic DI. It's not in production anymore. Now they have something else, something similar, and it even has the switch to turn it on and off by that switch. But basically what this does, it's this has got both the preamplifier and the DI box. And DI box is something that you need in order to convert your signal from your instrument into the balanced signal that the PA system can read and amplify and put out in the loudspeakers. So if you just take your guitar cable, no matter how good pickup you've got, and you put it into the mixing console, you will need to increase the input gain very much in order to get good volume. That can be dependent on what kind of PA system is it. Is it a good mixing console? Are the loudspeaker good, or are they of those JBL plasticky usual PA loudspeakers that are good maybe for singing and for just talking, but not really for acoustic guitars? No, not really. So this thing helps. Here's the input for the guitar, and then that goes through the preamp section with different knobs and controls, and then there's an output here on this side, this one, that then goes into the input for the XLR, and this part here, the lower part, is a DI box. And then you need a microphone cable to plug in from this into the PA system. So which means this is a beast. It's a little machine that really saved my life many times on gigs, on jam sessions. And sometimes if I'm just going out for a jam session somewhere, I can take this with me and one guitar, one cable and one microphone cable, and I just ask them, okay, where's the PA? And that's it. Another question here. There's a PA, but do they have available channels? Maybe all the channels are occupied. That's why it's always good to bring your own amplifier. Oh man. Preamp, pedal board. You want to see my pedal board? I have a small one. So this is my pedal board, and it's got several units on it. The heart of it is this black baby down here. It's the Roland or Boss MS3. MS means max station. No, it's not. Which is actually the effect switcher, and it works with these pedals above and this one here, and you can engage those pedals with these knobs. You just program it that way. So this is something that I've evolved into by sometimes using big pedal boards that are clunky. They are heavy to take with me, and it's pedal by pedal, pedal by pedal. And of course, if I'm in the studio and I'm about to record something really important and it's not just a live gig, then maybe I can assemble a big pedal board where each pedal has just one function and that's it. This way, this is great for live situations, and I just plug in one cable for my guitar and the other cable goes out into either my amplifier or to the PA system, and that's it. Too much tech, I know, but sometimes it's really great to be ready with the tech for anything that can, you know, happen. The boost pedal, yeah. There are many boost pedals on the market. They usually cost between $30 and $130 maybe. What they do is they just amplify your signal a little bit. They don't color it. They don't put any new frequencies. It's just they boost your signal, and then you use it for maybe boosting the solo when you play with somebody and all that. So I usually take this with me in jamming situations, and this particular model, this is really cool. Those of you who know me from my early youth know that my nickname was Matson. That's how I became Mac later on. But this is a phase boost. It looks like, well, Facebook, right? Phase boost, this pedal, just one knob to put it on, and just one on and off, and this is the volume. So you decide just how much of this you want in the system. This was made by a small company, which means boutique company in Slovenia, and Jam It. They're great. They also made a couple of other pedals for me. This is also one of the pedals that they made. This is called the Blues Got the Blues. That's right. And the difference between this and many other boost pedal, overdrive pedals, is that this is overdrive. This is not, you know, giving you a lot of this overdriven or what's it called, fuzzy sound. It's just first boosting and then giving you a little bit of raw sound. And the great thing about this is that you both have the level and the gain, but you always also have the tone controls, the bass and treble. That's what you usually don't get in overdrive pedals. And that's great because usually when you're using overdrive, you're losing some bass out of your sound. That's usually what happens. There are some great channels on YouTube when it comes to playing with pedals, but usually they're dedicated to electric guitars. I play my acoustics, and maybe you would think that, oh, you don't need overdrive pedal for the acoustic guitar. Usually not, but it's always good to have. So all these pedals that I'm showing you now, they're coming with me to this festival. I don't know what I'm going to be needing. I always like to bring them with me. It's just either a part of my big bag, or I'll just take a little separate bag only for those. Now the most important pedal is always this one, equalizer pedal. This is a very old model. I also think this is like 20 years old by Boss. And the great thing about equalizer pedals is that they can be used as both booster and to equalize your sound, and sometimes to disable the frequencies that are not really good in a certain situation. Sometimes these loudspeakers can be a bit plasticky. Sometimes there's too much mid-range, and mid-range, if you decrease the mid-range on a mixing console, because it's usually at least you have bass, middle, treble. If you only have bass and treble, that's a really cheap mixer, and you really need to talk with the organizer. Like, oh, you treat me, you know, like an idiot. You need to have better stuff here. But usually this is great because it's parametric, which means you have 10 bands of equalization, which means that the middles are both in the 400 and 800 hertz, which means I can just listen to my sound and see, okay, what's too much? If it's too much, this deep basses, whatever, you can just decrease the bass frequencies. If it's middles, just move yourself between these faders, and anybody can fix the good sound by just listening and using the faders. So if I couldn't take any other pedal with me apart from the amplifier, I just take this one. Equalizer can save you from anything. Another thing is also that if I, let's say, don't have my pedal board, and this Roland amplifier has great reverb, really sounds great, but this is the TC Electronics Hall of Fame 2, an amazing reverb pedal which you can really tailor to your liking, and it's got some presets. You can even feed it with presets from their website, where many well-known musicians have made their own reverb presets, and they just share it with you guys, and it's amazing. It's a great pedal. I can really, really recommend this one. What else? I have a couple more, but it's not that important that I show you those. So we're here when it comes to pedals, spare parts. This is also something that I always take two of. So all my cables are doubled. If I take a microphone cable I take two. They have microphones over there, of course, but I usually take my own singing microphones, vocal microphone, because I want to use my stuff, and that's it. It's not that I think it's disgusting to sing into a microphone somebody else. I mean, sing to and all that, doesn't matter. In these times of post-COVID and all that, maybe I should be a little bit precautious. So I'm bringing two of my microphones. One, the main one for me, and the other one, if this first one breaks down or something happens, that's that. Guitar cables, adapters, also two adapters for all of these pedals, and then another power supply that can, if needed, feed several pedals at the same time. That all goes into the bag. Batteries, always double or triple the batteries. If you don't need them, maybe there's a musician colleague somewhere who just said, oh man, I don't know, do you know where I could buy a battery now? I need these 9-volt battery and all that. And you just say, hey, come here. So it's wonderful to be able to help somebody with that. And also with my spare cables and all that. Sometimes a colleague, a musician, would maybe pass by the gig that I'm just doing, and I just see somebody, hey, you got a guitar with you? No, I'm sorry. Nah, you want to jam? Yeah, take one of my guitars. And then I got the cable. I even have a spare microphone. And yeah, sometimes those situations also happen. Next week, maybe I can announce it that next week I'm going to be bringing in this guy as my guest. Bert Dybert, great musician from the States. He lives in Sweden. He's been living here for more than 30 years, I think. And he's going to be performing at Alma Blues Festival as well. So we're going to be jamming, definitely. We always do when we play the same festival. He's a great friend and a colleague. He plays mandolin. He's really, really great at playing mandolin. And he can play like Yank Rachel. He's like, yeah, he's great. So next week he's going to be my guest, and we're going to be talking, having fun, and he's going to be definitely talking about his life here in Sweden and how he came here. I know that he played with Eric Bibb in the early days, in the 70s, so a lot of history there. So you're more than welcome to come next week as well. But let's go back to this. Spare parts, that's it. Now the logistics. Ask about everything in advance. I know many people who just are like overwhelmed with the possibility to play on a festival somewhere, that's great. But they don't know anything until they come to the festival. Are there going to be drivers? Somebody who's going to be driving us? How do I do when I come to the airport? Or how do I get to the venues? Where am I staying? How far away is the hotel from the stage? And all that. So I usually have a bunch of questions that I send prior to the festival, and after I've got the booking and the contracts are signed, I know I'm going to be there. Serious festivals usually have information for all artists. Either it's one person who you contact and they will tell you everything, and sometimes they send you an email with a PDF attached and you know all the details, who's the technician at which venue or stage. You can call people who are going to be working right where you're performing and all that. So in that case, you're saved. You can just call them and just write down everything, you know it. But it's great to know that in advance, because that decides on what am I taking with me. If I need to play, let's say, one gig in let's say 11 o'clock, and then the next is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and in between those two stages, they don't have anybody to drive you. Sometimes it's difficult to get a cab when it's a festival. You know, a lot of people are there, and maybe it's outside of town, and how far is from this scene to that other scene. So I need to think about all that when it comes to logistics, about how many guitars should I take? How mobile am I if I want to move with everything that I need for a gig to another stage or somewhere else? That's also one thing to think about. So transportation roller, it's this, you know, 2 wheels and a plate and a handle that you can pull out and grab with you. That's something you can, you know, throw in the back of your car, or you can even take it with you. Or if you're not taking the car, if you're taking the train, or if you're flying, that little thing is great to transport, let's say, 2 guitar cases tied together, and just roll it. You don't have to carry anything, right? So let's say 3 guitars to take with me is like one arm for this little handle, and 2 guitars over there, and then I have one hand for the bag, traveling bag and all accessories, whatever, and then 1 guitar on the shoulder. That's it. This is also a great little tip I have for you, which means if I, let's say, fly somewhere, I'm going to be flying to England in late July. I'll be there for a week to teach during the Blues Week. And because of the flight, I'm going to take the guitar in the hard shell case. And that case maybe doesn't weigh too much, but it's still cumbersome to carry with you around this facility where we're going to be staying at, because it's going to be many rooms in between. Maybe you're going to walk across the field to get to another house where maybe other workshops are going to be held, because this is a university center. So it's like, you know, Pavilion 1, Pavilion 2. I don't really know, not yet, but I'm definitely taking with me a soft gig bag that can I just roll into a very small one, a small package like this, maybe just tuck it into my traveling bag and have it ready until I get there. Shoulder straps. It's also something that's, I always have, let's say, 2 shoulder straps with me, which are extra. And sometimes you just can't carry the guitars in your hands. You need a free hand to do something else. Then it's always good to have a shoulder strap to tuck on the case and put on your shoulder, and off you go. Yeah, no, this is one. This is what I need. So basically that was it when it comes to the theme for today. Let's see what I've missed from the chat. I just see now all of a sudden some things were happening and I haven't noticed them. Hey Joel, yeah, signature Doc Watson move. That's great. I'm actually planning, although this is a slide guitar live stream and all that, but I've already gotten some requests about, but what about flat picking? I want to learn some flat picking, and of course I've learned from the best Doc Watson. I never became really good at flat picking, but some basics I can show you, and I'll be definitely showing you a couple of songs that Doc Watson used to play. So just keep that in mind. Emergency amp. Okay, I'll call it emergency amp. That's great, Patrick. All right. Oh, that's right. So let's just bring it back so we read the whole comment here. Oh yeah, that happened to me as well. You know, the electricity, power goes down and everything. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? And I just go right down to the audience, and somewhere in the middle. Like, all right, people get around. Let's do it acoustically. That's great. I even play with my drummer, Per Melin. He's a fantastic drummer here in Sweden, and we played at a local blues association in Gothenburg some years ago. And the amplifier broke down, and I played my archtop guitar, the hollow body, which I promised to show you. We've passed the hour, but I'll have to bring it out and show you guys. Okay, give me a second. Done. All right, here we go. This is the 1959 or 1960 Silvertone acoustic. Actually a cheapo, very cheap guitar, plywood, but it's got this Diamond pickup, jazz pickup, that's mounted here. And I mean, only this pickup would maybe cost around $150, maybe $200 now because it's vintage. And the sound of this guitar is very dry. Let's see if it's in tune. Yeah, baby. Why am I not showing you? That's right. So. Very swingy. Yeah, but this guitar, I never play acoustically, maybe sometimes at home just because it's cool. But amplified this one through anything. I mean, you can put it into a transistor radio, it's going to sound great. This pickup is just amazing. And with this pickup, you don't need any overdrive pedals or something like that, because it's breathing on by its own. It's like got this built-in compression of some kind that you just raise the volume a little bit and you get this roaring sound. It's an amazing guitar. So that was it. G. Albert, explain yourself. What do you mean? Does it still work? Work. Yeah, we have a mutual acquaintance on the internet, Kirk Nugget, who how it all works with WE. The phase boost, yeah, that's right. They just came up with that name, and all their pedals have some crazy names in there. They're great. So let me see. Do I use wireless cable? Yeah, definitely. I have an old, I think it's Samsung. I'm sure it's 20 years plus old, and it still works. It's fine. The only drawback of that wireless system is that I always have this feeling that it's a little bit delayed. I lose some of the trebles. I don't know if it's because of that or if that sound is traveling from when I'm standing and playing, and wireless transfer of the audio coming to this other part of the system and everything. Yeah, I don't know. There are many very modern systems now which I haven't tried, and to be honest, right now I don't even need any wireless system. But I understand definitely your situation. It's great. So you wire your guitar wirelessly to wirelessly. Yeah, you use it wirelessly to the amplifier. Good. Okay, if your bass volume is set, is there something special with the basses? Okay. Yeah. How is it with just one instrument? Yes, definitely. I've played with Sam Mitchell for 4.5 years, if I want to be precise, and he usually took only one guitar with him, and he retuned in between sets. And but then he was quite strategic. If he tuned to open D, then he wouldn't switch it until it was a break. So he would play everything in open D, especially with Razaphonic guitars, because the resonators and the whole system is more fragile than on a standard guitar. And if you retune, there's this aspect of the resonator breathing as well. Less tension, the resonator can start rattling, or sometimes you need to retune that guitar in between songs and all that. So I remember that he did use one guitar, and then when I played with him, I never took more than 2 guitars. One in standard tuning and my own Razaphonic guitar. And that was mostly because I didn't want us to play with 2 Razaphonic guitars the whole evening. It's like we usually played 3 sets, those really long gigs that we had in clubs. Let me see. I have a similar situation, but my daughter didn't steal my old guitar. She got to use it, and I guess it's hers now. 12-string guitar. I have 2 12-string guitars that are out of function in the cellar, and I never get the time to really repair them and to make them work again, because one got the bridge broken because of the tension, because I've been experimenting a lot, and then the other one is a present that I got from a friend, musician friend, and it's an Epiphone 12-string, really good one, but I think there's a little crack up on the peg head before the neck starts, so I think I need to take care of that first. And there's one little thing that I can recommend people who play 12-string guitar, but fingerstyle. I stopped using these octave higher strings on the basses. The only octaves, no, I don't have any. The first 2 strings are, let's say, 2 E strings, 2 B strings of same gauge, and then the G string is doubled, the 4th string is doubled, and then I have the 5th string and the 6th string, only those 2 basses. I have the octave, these lighter gauge strings on those 2 places. And that's because when I play with fingerstyle, I kind of experienced too much of a ringing sound, and I just didn't like it. I don't know. It's only me. I look at Leo Kottke. He's been playing a standard equipped 12-string guitar, as it always was and maybe should be, where you have first 2 strings the same, and then you have always the octave string following the G, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th string, right? But in my case, I really, really liked that solution. How do I change? All right, definitely. Sorry, I forgot to talk about that. Of course, I'm going to be having a special kit only for strings. I have this one. It's actually here and ready for the trip. looks like this. Right? So this is a string winder. This is just a clamp to, if I need to pull out the string pegs, right, at the bridge. Little scalpel. If I need to cut off something, whatever. Screwdriver up here, and then I have a couple of extra nuts and a couple of these this Allen keys for different guitars, and then here I have single strings for each of the guitars. Let's say I have 3 G strings because they would break most often. I haven't broken a string for ages. I don't remember when I broke them, but I want to be ready. And then this is an extra set for my Razophonic guitar, and then when I'm on the way to the festival, I'm just going to pull out another bag where I have all the string sets ready. So I just throw in 1 extra set for each guitar, and then have all these single strings also ready if only maybe 1 string breaks. And sometimes, let's say on this festival, I'm going to be playing in 2 consecutive days. So if when I played in the streets, and if I get really sweaty and the strings get, moist and everything, and I just feel they're dead in the evening, then I'm not going to be waiting until the next day to change them. Then I would maybe change them before going to bed, tune up, and sometimes I even use this tip I've got from a friend. Was it Louisiana Red or somebody who told me that I can just raise the pitch like a half step over the higher than the pitch. So let's say instead of A on the first string, I would have like F, right? So just and leave them like that during the night, and then retune in the morning, and you'll be ready for the gig. So the first day I'll be playing in the between 12 and 2, which means the next day I'll be playing in the afternoon around 3. So I'll have almost 18 hours in between changes and all that. So it'll be fine. But I also have the strings ready, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, I've said this in my previous streams that I really don't like changing strings too often because I like the sound of the used strings and worn out strings. They're a bit warmer, especially if you play with these magnetic pickups that I do. Then the color of the string sound really affects how the pickup is going to pick it. So if you have fresh strings with lots of ringing into it, that's going to come right into the your audio, and I don't really like it. I think it's much nicer sound with older strings. But when it comes to performing and you're playing on festivals, I definitely rather have totally new strings and be sure that it's going to sound okay. Yeah. Thank you, Albert. I'll do my best. That festival is one of the best in Sweden. I know a lot of people there, and audience and everybody. I really enjoy it. It's a 4-hour drive from where I live, and it's also a relaxing drive. I'm going to be listening to some great music. Actually, I got this CD from Rob that was my guest 2 weeks ago, who recorded Sam Mitchell. So maybe I can show you this before I leave. For today. So I got it in my hand. So this is nothing you can get in stores. Rob has got several copies, so I'm gonna be listening to this in the car. So this is last recordings of Sam Mitchell after he's released the Resonating album, which is available on Spotify, I think. But these are the recordings when he played with either Rob's band or just some of the friends from Holland at that time helped them out, and they just came to Rob's studio and recorded. And some of the things are live performance, 2-track band rehearsal recordings. This is treasure. I mean, this is fantastic, great stuff. All right. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. I think they all clicked on the like button. There are 4 likes as I see it here. And I don't know how many people are left with us. Oh yeah, they do make CDs in Europe. I'll tell you, I was at this European Blues Challenge. It was a kind of a festival. It's a competition basically between blues bands from all over European Union. So there were 15, 16 bands who performed here in southern Sweden, very close to me. And I met some people there when I was a guest at Brian Kramer's exhibition of his illustrations. So we just jammed over there, and there was a little jam stage behind where we were with the exhibition. And that's where I also met a lot of other musicians performing. They were coming to listen to us and all that. We were talking. And I got 6 or 7 CDs with me. Everybody has CDs now. But that's European Union. And they've been selling. There were a couple of tables with the merch outside a large hall where everybody was playing. So, yeah, they're still selling CDs here in Europe. And you can make, I sold my solo CD leaving in, let's say, my investment in the studio, mastering, everything that I did for the CD, paying guest musicians properly and everything, and then I made 4 times that money out of selling the CDs. And I didn't sell them too expensive, just average, what it costs around $12, $13 maybe here on the gigs. And now I haven't sold a single CD, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Nobody's buying CD anymore. And I just said that people are printing CDs and selling them. I don't know, maybe everybody who wanted my CD already bought it. They don't want to buy anything else. I don't know. But I think I have around 20 CDs left, and then I'm out of them. I'll keep one for the collection and maybe one more, and then I'll just bring with me the rest to this festival. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming today. It's been great, and next time there will be more music, more playing, and we're going to be talking with Bert Divert about his career. He's going to be my guest, and we're going to be talking about different aspects of playing different styles within blues, because we play quite similar styles, but he's even more into this early period of like 30s and 40s. I was kind of working a lot with Sonny Terry, Brown and McGee, stuff from the 50s, even 60s, Muddy Waters, Chicago blues, when it evolved into more electric blues and all that. So, but it's going to be interesting. So thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you all next Monday. All right? Have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Up here it's 10:20 p.m. So off to bed. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
It was in spring, one sunny day.
My sweetheart left me, Lord, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. It called me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. In spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top